Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Learnopedia. Let's succeed. We are at the end of the first chapter of algebra, that is linear equations in two variables. The rest of the part I have covered in the first two videos of this chapter, and I have put the link in the description so you can watch it before watching this topic. In this video I am going to cover the applications of simultaneous equations and summarize all entire chapter so that you will remember the important points in this chapter. So let's begin with today's topic, that is applications of simultaneous equations. Applications of simultaneous equations. Now before starting this topic, I would like to recall some points from the previous topics. That is, in the first video I have covered the basics of linear equations, in which I told you how to form the linear equations and why are these linear equations used. These equations are used to find the unknown things which we don't know. For example, in the first video we considered an example where two batsmen scored a partnership of 100 runs, in which both we don't know what the individual batsman scored, but we assumed the first batsman to score X runs and the second batsman to score Y runs. So together they scored 100 runs. That is, X plus Y is equal to 100. This is the equations which we formed. In that example, we didn't knew the values of the scores run by the individual batsmen. For finding such things, we use these types of equations, and these are the applications. For example, for finding the age, for finding the speed of a car, or anything else which we don't know. So this is the applications of simultaneous equations, and there are some steps to follow for solving such sums. First, we have to assume the unknown things. Second, we have to know the conditions given in the questions. So for that, you need to read the question carefully and form the equations from the given conditions. Third thing is, after forming the equations, we have to solve these equations by the methods which we have learned in the previous videos. That is the Cramer's method, elimination method, substitution method, or graphical method. So these are the methods which we have learned, and using these methods we have to find the unknown variables. And the last thing is, the unknown variables which we got are the values which you need. Okay, so this is how we have to solve the simultaneous equations, and this is the general idea of what are the applications of simultaneous equations. So let's see the examples. The first example I have taken from your textbook itself. It is the sum from the last exercise. So first I would like to read the question and then let you know what are the conditions and what is the unknown thing here. You will get to know after I read the question, but let's see, I will tell you. So the first example is, the sum of father's age and twice the age of his son is 70. If we double the age of the father, add it to the age of his son, and the sum is 95. Find their present ages. Now what we have to find, it is given in the question, that is the present ages of the father and the son. So let's assume that first. Let's assume that let the father's age be X, and let the son's age be Y. So don't mind my handwriting because I'm writing it with my hand on the screen, so it's a little difficult for writing that. Okay, so let's move further. Now, as I said, after assuming the unknown things, we have to find the conditions in the given sum. So the first condition in this sum is, sum of father's age and twice the age of his son is 70. So what is given? Sum of father's age, that is X. So first I will write the statement here, that is, according sorry, okay, wait. So according to the first condition, we have sum of father's age, that is x, plus what is given, twice the age of his son, that is 2y, is equal to 70, because we have assumed that x is the age of the father and y is the age of the son. And sum of x plus twice the age of his son is 70. So this is the first equation which we get. The second equation is, we will get it from the second condition, that is, if we double the age of the father, add it to the age of his son, the sum is 95. So according to the second condition, we get sum of twice the age of the father, that is, if we double this and add it to the sum of add it to the age of the son, we will get the sum as 95. So this is what it is given in the condition. So this is the second equation. Now we have got two equations from the given two conditions. We have to solve these equations. This is the third step, remember. Okay, so this is the third step in which we have to solve these two equations from the previous methods which we have learned and get the values of x and y. Now I would like to use the elimination method here. For that, we have to equate the coefficient of one of the term and eliminate that term for getting the value of the another variable. So let's see. I would like to eliminate y here. So for that, we need to multiply the equation 2 by 2. So multiplying equation 2 by 2. So what we get is 2 into 2x plus y is equal to 95 into 2. So after that we get is 4x plus 2y is equal to 95 into 2 is 190. So this is the third equation we get. Now since we have to eliminate the term y, we need to subtract equation 1 from equation 3. So subtracting equation 1 from equation 3. Subtracting equation 1 from equation 3. Okay, so what we get is 4x plus 2y is equal to 190, right? This is what we got, third equation. And x plus 2y is equal to 70. This is the first equation. Subtracting these equations, we need to change the signs for that. So after that we get 4x minus 1x is 3x. This gets cancelled, and 190 minus 70 is equal to 120. So we get the value of x as 120 divided by 3. That is, x is equal to 40. Now substituting this value of x in one of the equations, we get the value of y. So I will substitute in equation 1, that is x plus 2y is equal to 70. So 40 plus 2y is equal to 70. For taking 40 on the other side, we get it as 2y is equal to 30. So y is equal to 30 by 2 is equal to 15. Now what we have assumed is the father's age is x years and the son's age is y years. So what we got from here is the father's age is 40 years and the son's age is 15 years. Okay, so writing the answer statement is age of the father is, don't write it this way because it's just I don't know. I mean, just see the format of writing these statements in your textbooks and then write it, okay? Because they have marks in your exams, and I have not written it properly because, as I told you, I am writing it with my hand, so it's not possible for me to write it here clearly. So it is 40 years, and age of sun is 15 years. So this is what we got. This is how we do it. First we need to assume that, then we need to form the equations from the given conditions, and then we have to solve the equations for getting the values of the unknown things. Okay, so these are the basic steps required for for solving these sums. So let's see the second example now. And remember, see the format of writing these statements. Like they in your textbook they have given the each statement, like if they are subtracting this equation from that, they are using which method, everything they have mentioned. You have to do the same thing because everything carries marks in your exam. So remember this thing every time, okay? And write it on your own self, because you will get a practice of writing these statements, and further you will write it on your own without forgetting it. So let's see the next example now. Moving to the second example, let's see what does it tell us. Out of 1900 kilometers, Vishal traveled distance by bus and some by aeroplane. Bus travels with average speed of 60 km per hour, and the average speed of aeroplane is 700 km per hour. It takes 5 hours to complete the journey. Find the distance Vishal traveled by bus. Now this type of questions are solved by using the formula of speed. What is the formula of speed? Speed is equal to distance upon time. This one. This formula can be written in two different ways. That is, if we take this time on the other side, we will get distance is equal to speed into time. The other method is distance upon speed. Taking the speed in the upon side and taking time on the other side, we get it as distance upon speed is equal to time. Now in this question there are two unknown things. We do not know the distance traveled by individual vehicles, and also we do not know the time taken by them individually. We know the total distance and the total time. So we have to take either the time to be the variables or the distance to be the variables. Now if we take time to be the variables, then we will get something like this given here. But if we take distance as the variable, how we will represent it in the time format is, we will get it in the upon form like this. If we take, suppose distance is equal to, distance traveled by bus is equal to x. So how we will write the time taken by the bus? X upon speed of the bus, right? So this is, and the second term we will get this y. Suppose y is the distance covered by the aeroplane and upon 700. So this is how we will get it. And again we have to take the LCMs and get the values of the equation. So it is better we write it in this format, that is distance is equal to speed into time. We are going to use this format. So let's see, we are going to assume the time to be the variables. Let the time taken by the bus be x and the time taken by the aeroplane be y. We have assumed this. This is the first step to solve the question, right? The second thing is, we are going to see the given conditions in that, but before that, in this thing we need to write the time in the distance in the format of speed and time. Okay, so distance traveled by the bus will be given by 60 into x here. Why? Because we have seen this formula, right? distance is equal to speed into time. So speed of the bus is 60 km per hour and time taken by the bus is x hours. Also, speed traveled by the aeroplane is 700 y. This is because the speed of the aeroplane is 700 km per hour and the time taken by the aeroplane is, we have assumed that it is y. So this is how we get the distance of bus and the distance of aeroplane. So let's see how are we going to form the equations. Now we know in this question we have used the speed for calculating the distance traveled by the bus and the distance traveled by the aeroplane. Now we are going to use the other two conditions, that is out of 1900 kilometers, that is we know the total distance now. So using that we are going to form one equation. Okay, so how we will do that? Distance traveled by bus plus distance traveled by aeroplane will give us the total distance, right? So distance traveled by bus is 60x plus distance traveled by aeroplane is 700y. So 700y is equal to total distance is given 1900 kilometers. So this is the first equation. Okay. After that, the second condition is given that it takes total 5 hours to complete the journey. We have used this condition, right? Bus travels with average speed of 60 kilometers. Now we need to use this condition, that is 5 hours to complete the journey. So they have given the total time. So using the second condition, we get total time is, we have assumed the time taken by the bus as x and the time taken by the aeroplane is y. That is x plus y is equal to 5 hours. This is what they have given. So this is the second equation which we get. Okay. Now the first equation can be reduced to a simple form by just dividing it by 10 or further dividing it. So let's see how we can reduce that. So taking the first equation, what we have it is 60x plus 700y is equal to 1900. So we can just divide it by 10. What we will get it as 6x plus 70y is equal to 190. Again we can divide it by something, that is we can just use divided by 2. What we will get is 6 divided by 2 is 3x, 70 divided by 2 is 35y is equal to 190 divided by 2. What we will get is 95. So this is the third equation. Now we have to eliminate these equations, solve these equations by the elimination method, or you can use other method also, you can use substitution method also. So I would like to use the substitution method here because in the previous question we have used the elimination method. So let's see how we can use the substitution method here. In the substitution method, we just put the value of one of the variable in the terms of the other and substitute that value of the variable in the another equation and get the value of one variable. Again resubstitute it in the previous equation and get the value of the second variable. So this is the procedure which we do. So let's see how we are going to do that. We have two equations, that is x plus y is equal to 5 and 3x plus 35y is equal to 95. So we have these two equations. We can write this equation in the form of x or y. So I will write it in the form of x, that is y is equal to 5 minus x. Now this value can be substituted in this equation. This is the substitution method, right? So we can just name it 5, and again using sorry, using substitution method, substitution method we have substituting this value in the this equation, that is we have named it 3, right? So y की वैल्यू डालना है 5 माइनस एक्स प्लस 3x प्लस 35 इंटू 5 minus x is equal to 95. This is what we get after substituting the y is equal to 5 minus x. Now again we need to evaluate it. So 3x plus 35 into 5, what we will get is 5 5s are 25, 2 and 175 minus 35x is equal to 95. Okay, again we will get it as taking this 175 on the other side and subtracting this, that is 3x minus 35x, we will get it as 32 minus 32x is equal to 175 minus 95, sorry, minus 175, right? Minus 175 plus 95. So after this solving this, what we will get, 75 minus, right? So 80. So minus 32x is equal to minus 80. Cancelling these both signs, we will get x is equal to 80 by 32. So x की value we can divide it, right? So 16 dividing it by 2, and this is 40. So 4 tens are, and again 4 से divide किया, so we will get it as 2.5. So x की value we have 2.5 hours. We have assumed it time of the bus taken by the bus is 2.5 hours. Now we will find this y. Actually it is not needed to find the value of y, because they have asked us to find the distance traveled by the bus, and distance traveled by the bus is 60 into x. So there is no need of finding this y, but we can find the value of y and keep it. Okay, so let's see how we will find it. Substituting in equation 5. So what we get is y is equal to 5 minus 2.5. Again we get it y की value as 2.5 hours. Now distance traveled by the bus, we have to remove that. They have asked this in the question. So distance traveled by the bus is equal to 60x is equal to 60 into 2.5. x की value substitute की, we will get it as is equal to 60 into 2.5 is 25 into 6, 125, 150, 15 kilometers. Sorry, let me just multiply it because I'm getting a little confused here. 6 into 5 is 30. 6 into 2 is 112, 3, 150. It is 150 kilometers, sorry. So he has traveled a total distance of 150 kilometers through the bus, and after that he has traveled by the aeroplane. So no need to just calculate that distance. They have only asked us to calculate the distance traveled by the bus. So you will solve this question by this method using the formula of speed is equal to distance upon time, and just rearranging it in the either forms, that is distance is equal to speed into time, and also the second thing is time is equal to distance upon speed. So you can use those formulas and solve form the equations and get the values of the unknown things. So this is how we solve these types of questions. Moving to the third example. Now this question is also based on the time, distance and speed wala formula, and this is a little difficult or different, you can say. It's not difficult if you try to understand it. Okay, so let's see what is the question. A boat travels 16 kilometer upstream and 24 kilometer downstream in 6 hours. The same boat travels 36 kilometers upstream and 48 kilometers downstream in 13 hours. Find the speed of water current and speed of the boat in still water. So they have given here two things which we have to find. So let's assume them something. So the speed of the boat in still water is x kilometer per hour, and the speed of the water current be y kilometer per hour. So this is what we have assumed for the question. That is what we have to find. Okay. So next thing is we are going to use the formula of time is equal to distance upon speed, because we don't know the individual times, we know the individual distances, and the speed in the individual distances we are going to just write it here. So we will discuss it first. That is, the speed of boat in downstream will be x plus y kilometer per hour. This is why, because when we go downstreams, we do not need any force to or any thing to just push it downstreams, right? So it will easily go downstream, the boat will easily slide downstream. So that speed will be plus, that is boat ka speed plus water current ka stream, that is x plus y we will get here. So it is given as x plus y, and it is going upstream, so it is given that x minus y. So x minus y, why it is given? Because x boat ka speed is x kilometer per hour, and the speed of the water is coming down, right? So it wants to go upstream, it is in opposite direction, so it is given as x minus y kilometer per hour. Got it? So this is these are the speeds of the boat and the speed of the boat in downstream and in upstream. So using this formula we can write it in the form of distance upon speed, because we know the individual distances and we know the individual speed of the boat. Okay, so let's see how we are going to do that. So the first condition they have given is a boat travels 16 kilometer upstream and 24 kilometers downstream in 6 hours. So they have given the total time. Okay, so the time in the 16 kilometer upstream can be written as distance is 16 kilometer, right? And the upstream wala speed we have considered it as x minus y. Okay, so this is the first thing which we covered, 16 kilometers given, and 24 kilometer downstream in 6 hours. So they have given the total time, and second thing they have given the 24 kilometer downstream. So the time of the downstream can be written as 24 upon downstream ka speed is x plus y, and after adding these speeds these time, we get the total time as 6 hours. Okay, got it? How to form the equation? So this is how we form the equation, and this is the first equation. Now using the second condition, so let's see what is the second condition. 1 minute. Condition 2, we will get it as same boat travels 36 kilometer upstream. Now it is going upstream, so its speed will be x minus y, and we have the distance, that is 36 kilometers. So what we can write is time in the form of distance and speed is 36 upon x minus y, and the second thing they have given is 48 kilometers downstream. Okay, so 48 distance and downstream ka speed is x plus y. Okay, so we have got this, and also they have given that the total time is 13 hours. So this is equal to, if we add this, is equal to 13. So this is the second equation. Okay, so just you have to write it in the terms of time, so that you can add it and get the total time. This is how we form the equations. Now this if you notice, these two are not the linear form of equations, and these are non-linear form of equations, right? We have learned them in the previous video. So how we will convert that into linear form is substitute the term in one of the another variable. So we can use mn or ab, any variable you want. Okay, so I'm going to use ab, and we can replace 1 by x minus y and 1 by x plus y. So these are the two terms which we can replace and write the other variables. So let 1 by x minus y is equal to a, and 1 by x plus y is equal to b. So these are the two terms which we get. So we can write the equation 1 as 16a plus 24b is equal to 6. And okay, so 36a, second equation can be written like this: 36a plus 48b is equal to 13. So these are the two equations which we get. Now we need to eliminate these equations and get the value of one of the variables. So we will do it by elimination method because it is little easier. And let's see, for that we need to equate the coefficient of one of the term, right? So we are going to equate the coefficients of b, because after multiplying the equation 3 we will get the b coefficient as 48, and we can then subtract that. So let's see, multiplying equation 3 by 2, multiplying equation 3 by 2. So what is that? 16x plus 24y is equal to 6. So multiplying this equation by 2, that is 32x plus 48y is equal to 6 into 2 is 12. So this is what we get as the fifth equation. So let's check it once again, because we don't want to make any mistakes, right? Oops, sorry, I have taken the variables as x and y. So let's just cancel that and take it as a and b. So here it is a and b and not x and y. Okay, so I made that correction here, a, and this is 48b. Now the third equation, we can just subtract this equation from the fourth equation, that is, let's see what it is. This is fourth equation, that is 36a plus 48b is equal to 13. So subtracting equation 5 from equation 5 from 4, that is 36a plus 48b is equal to 13, and this is the equation 5, right? And this equation we can write it below: 32a plus 48b is equal to 12. Now we are going to subtract it, so the signs will change here. So we will get it as, this gets cut, plus minus 48b, and 36a minus 32a is 4a is equal to 13, and 13 minus 12, that is 1. So what we get a value of a as 1 upon 4. So this is the value of a. Now substitute in this value of a in one of the equations, that is we can just substitute it in equation 3, which is 16a plus 24b. So 16a plus 24b is equal to 6. We can substitute it here, that is 16 into 1 by 4 plus 24b is equal to 6. Now 4 is a 16, that is here. So 24b is equal to 6 minus 4 is equal to 2. So b is equal to 2 by 24, that is equal to 1 by 2. So we got the value of b as 1 by 2 and a as 1 by 12 and a as 1 by 4. So after that we again need to substitute the values of a and b. That is, we considered a is equal to 1 by x minus y, right? And b is equal to 1 by x plus y. So substituting the values of a and b here, we get it as 1 by 4 is equal to 1 upon x minus y, and 1 by 12 is equal to 1 upon x plus y. So after that we can cross multiply it and we get another two equations. So we are cross multiplying it. So that is x minus y is equal to 4 and x plus y is equal to 12. So we get another two equations. Now we can directly just eliminate the term y or variable y by subtracting these equations. If you see here, it is minus y and plus y. We don't need to equate the coefficients here. So subtracting the equations, we get it as x plus y is equal to 12 and x minus y is equal to 4. So we are going to subtract these equations. So this is going to get cancelled. Add these equations. We can directly add, okay? We are not going to subtract it. Remember, I just said it by mistake. And we will get it as 2x. This gets cancelled automatically because it is plus y and minus y. So this is 12 plus 4, it's 16. So we get the value of x is equal to 8 and the value of y after substituting it in this equation, that is x plus y is equal to 12. That is x की value is 8. So 8 plus y is equal to 12. Then y is equal to 12 minus 8 is equal to 4 kilometer per hour. So what we have assumed that y is the speed of the water current and x is the speed of the boat. So we got the values of x and y. Okay. So this is how we find the values of the speed or the speed of the boat and the current using water current using these equations and conditions and solving them. Okay. So this is how we do these types of sums. So let's summarize what we have learned in this entire chapter. First, we learned the basics of linear equations, in which we learned two topics, that is how to identify a linear equation. And for identifying a linear equation, there are two conditions. First condition is the degree or power of each variable in the given equation should be 1. Remember this thing. The second condition is the graph of the given equation should be a straight line. That means if you plot the given line on a graph, given equation on a graph, then it should be a straight line. So that are the two conditions of a linear equation. Then we learned how to form the linear equations. Now there are given conditions in your question, so based on that conditions you can assume a variable for finding what you want, and according to the given conditions you can form the equations. So these are the things which we learned in the basics of linear equations. The second thing we learned is the methods of solving these linear equations. So in that, first we learned the elimination method. In elimination method, you need to equate the coefficient of one of the variable, eliminate that variable, find the value of one of the other variable, then substitute this value into the one of the given equations and get the value of the second variable. So this is what we do in the elimination method. I have solved the sums using this elimination method also. So the second is the substitution method. In the substitution method, we express one of the variable in the other variable, substitute this variable, value of the variable, into given equation and find the value of one of the variable. After that, substitute it in the given equation and get the value of the second variable. So this is what we do for the substitution method. Third is the graphical method. In the graphical method, we need to find the coordinates which lie on the given equation of the line. So after that, we can just plot these points and draw a line through these points. So we have two equations and we will get two lines for that. And where these two lines intersect, we will get the point of intersection as the solution of these two equations. So this is what we do in the graphical method. In graphical method, using this graphical method is not feasible everywhere, that it is not easy, like you have to every time find the coordinates and then plot that graph and then find the values of x and y. So instead of that, you can just use the other methods. If it is asked in your exam that use graphical method, then you should use graphical method. Okay, so wherever it is asked you use this method, then you should use that method only. Do not use any other method, and if it is not mentioned, you can use any of the methods. So the last method which we learned is the Cramer's method. In this Cramer's method, we need to find the values of the determinant dx and dy, and then find the value of x and y using the formula dx by d and dy by d. So this is what we did in the Cramer's method. Also we learned what is a determinant and how to form these determinants. So if you have not watched that video, you can watch it. The link is in the description box. The next thing which we learned, that the converting non-linear equations into linear equations. Now we saw this thing in the previous example, that boat wala question. So in that, the given equation was not in the linear form, so we converted it into the linear form, and I have taught this in the second video, so you can watch it. And I hope you must have understood that. So the last thing which we learned is the applications of linear equations. Now the applications, I told you every time that where we don't know the value or we want to find a new value for it, or a unknown thing, so we can use these equations by the given form these equations by the given conditions and solve it and get the values of the unknown things. So these are the applications for finding the speed, distance, time, and unknown things. Like in the first equation, we find the ages of the father and son. First question, sorry. So in that, we find the age of the father and son. So for finding anything unknown, we can use the linear equations. So this is all about this chapter, and in the next video I will start with the second chapter of geometry, that is Pythagoras theorem. So thank you for watching my video, guys, and if you have not subscribed yet, please do like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you for watching my video.